The courtyard fell silent the moment Officer Rick Dalton stormed toward a black woman standing beside a silver sedan. "Hands on the car. Now." "This vehicle is reported stolen," he barked, grabbing her wrist before she could speak. Phones came out. People gasped. The woman stayed unnervingly calm. "Officer, this is a mistake you'll regret tomorrow morning," she whispered. He laughed in her face. He didn't know he had just handcuffed Judge Maya Jefferson. And tomorrow, she would be the one sitting on the bench. Before we go any further, drop your city or country in the comments. I want to see where this story travels. And if you believe justice should never bow to power, hit like and subscribe for more truth to power stories. Judge Maya Jefferson had a reputation that echoed through every hallway of the county courthouse, calm under pressure, razor-sharp in her decisions, and respected by attorneys on both sides of the aisle. But outside the courtroom, she preferred to live simply. No entourage. No security detail. No flashy car. Just her older silver sedan that she bought back when she was still a public defender fighting for clients who couldn't afford representation. Every morning, she parked in the same open lot across from the courthouse. People who worked there recognized her, the quiet black woman with the composed smile, coffee in hand, walking with the confidence of someone who earned every inch of her success. But Officer Rick Dalton didn't know her. He didn't recognize her face, her reputation, or the robe she'd one day wear. What he did know was pressure from supervisors after a recent complaint, pressure to prove himself, pressure to be the loudest officer in every situation. And today, intoxicated by authority and irritated by a vague report of a stolen car matching a silver sedan, he was looking for someone to blame. Maya had no idea that her calm routine was about to turn into a storm. She approached her car like any normal day, scrolling through her schedule. Court started at 9:30. 3 hearings. 2 motions. 1 plea deal. Nothing unusual. What she didn't know was that Officer Dalton was already in the parking lot, eyes narrowed, assumptions loaded, and ready to turn her quiet morning into a public humiliation. Officer Rick Dalton didn't approach like a professional, he approached like a man on a mission to dominate. The moment he saw the silver sedan and the black woman unlocking it, every unchecked bias inside him snapped into action. He didn't ask her name. He didn't verify the license plate. He didn't even glance at the VIN. He just stormed across the lot, hand already on his holster, voice exploding through the air. "Hey! Step away from the vehicle. Hands where I can see them." Maya froze, startled but not panicked. She held her hands up slowly. "Officer, this is my..." "Quiet," he barked, loud enough to turn heads and pull people from sidewalks. Phones rose. Whispers spread. Someone said, "Isn't that the judge?" But Rick ignored them all. He grabbed her wrist, yanking her toward the hood. "You match the description. This car was reported stolen. Don't make this hard." Maya tried again, gently. "Officer, I have identification. Just look." "I'm not gonna fall for your excuses," he said, pushing her hands onto the car. Her heart tightened, not from fear, but from the realization. This wasn't about a car. This was about power. And he was abusing it in front of an entire crowd. By the time he cuffed her, the humiliation was complete. But the reckoning had only begun. The walk from the parking lot to the police cruiser felt like slow, deliberate punishment, not for a crime, but for daring to exist in the wrong officer's line of sight. Judge Maya Jefferson kept her posture straight despite the cuffs digging into her wrists. Every step was witnessed. Every whisper echoed. Some people called out, "That's Judge Jefferson." Others shook their heads, powerless to interfere. Rick Dalton didn't care. In fact, the attention fed him. "Should have thought twice before stealing a car," he muttered loud enough for the crowd to hear. Maya didn't look at him. She didn't need to. Inside the station, everything shifted. A desk sergeant glanced up, then instantly recognized Maya. His face drained of color. "Officer Dalton, can I speak with you privately?" he whispered urgently. But Rick brushed him off. No need. I caught her red-handed. He shoved the arrest report forward, smug. The sergeant stared at the form like it was a ticking bomb. Did you run the plate? Didn't need to, Rick said. Did you check the registration? No. Did you confirm the VIN? I didn't get that far. Did you even ask her name? Rick finally snapped, no. I know a guilty person when I see one. You just arrested a sitting judge of this county. Silence. Cold. Heavy. Suffocating. Rick blinked, confused. The sergeant stepped aside, revealing Maya calmly sitting in a chair, no anger on her face, only disappointment. Uncuff her. Now, the sergeant ordered. Rick fumbled, terrified but trying not to show it. Maya stood slowly, her dignity untouched despite everything. I'll be leaving, she said softly. Our conversation isn't over. Rick swallowed, throat dry. What happens now? She looked at him, not with rage, but with a depth that made him shrink. Tomorrow morning, she said, you'll learn what justice actually looks like. She walked out, leaving him surrounded by tension, disbelief, and the first flicker of fear creeping into his chest. By sunset, the entire station knew what he had done. By sunrise, he would face the consequences in her courtroom. The next morning, Officer Rick Dalton walked into the courthouse with the uneasy swagger of a man trying to convince himself he still had control. He told himself it was just a meeting, just a routine review. But the tremor in his hand said otherwise. Other officers avoided eye contact. Word had spread. Everyone knew who he arrested. Everyone knew what courtroom he'd been summoned to. Courtroom 3B. Judge Maya Jefferson. When Rick stepped inside, he scanned the bench, empty. Maybe she wasn't presiding today. Maybe it would be someone else. Maybe he got lucky. Then the bailiff's voice cut the air. All rise. Like a blade slicing through silence, Maya Jefferson walked in wearing full judge's robes, dignified, calm, and carrying the authority of centuries of justice behind her. Rick's vision blurred. His knees weakened. It was her. The woman he shoved, cuffed, humiliated, dismissed. The woman he didn't even allow to speak her own name. He nearly collapsed. Maya sat gracefully, adjusted her glasses, and spoke with that same unshakable calm. Officer Dalton, please step forward. His throat closed. The room watched. Cameras clicked. Attorneys exchanged looks. Maya continued. Yesterday, you arrested a citizen for a crime without verifying identification, registration, or even listening to a single sentence of explanation. A screen lit up. The courtroom watched the viral footage, the shouting, the grabbing, the line. You people always have excuses. The whispers grew into a wave of disgust. Rick closed his eyes in shame. Maya paused, letting the weight settle. Then, Officer Dalton, do you recognize the woman you arrested? He nodded, barely breathing. Yes. Your Honor. I am not asking if you know who I am today, she clarified. I'm asking if you recognized me yesterday. He shook his head. That, she said, is the problem. You saw a black woman with a car and assumed criminality. You saw authority in your hands and forgot accountability. Her voice hardened, not loud, but sharp like truth cutting through lies. Today is not about your fear. It is about justice. And the courtroom leaned forward, knowing the real reckoning was still coming. The courtroom felt heavier than stone, every breath, every shift, every whisper swallowed by the tension tightening around Officer Rick Dalton's throat. Judge Maya Jefferson leaned forward slightly, her expression calm, unreadable, but carrying the weight of someone who had endured humiliation without ever losing her dignity. Officer Dalton, she began, please explain to this court why you believed it was appropriate to arrest a woman without verifying even the most basic information. Rick swallowed hard. I thought the vehicle was stolen, Your Honor. Maya nodded slowly. And did you verify the license plate? No, Your Honor. Did you check the registration? No. Did you confirm the VIN number? No. Did you ask for my name? His voice cracked. No. Did you follow a single step of proper police procedure? Rick's eyes dropped to the floor. No, Your Honor. Maya tapped her pen once, a single, soft sound that seemed to echo like thunder. Then what exactly did you rely on, Officer Dalton? Instinct? Assumption? Bias? Rick froze. Everyone in the room knew the answer, but none dared say it. A hush rippled across the gallery as Maya pressed a button. The screen behind her lit up again, this time showing slowed-down footage of the moment he grabbed her wrist. Her calm. His aggression. Her attempts to explain. His refusal to listen. His words. You people always have excuses. A wave of shock rolled through the room, louder this time, unforgiving. Maya let the clip finish before she spoke again, her voice steady and controlled. I want the court to understand something. I am not upset that you didn't recognize me as a judge. That is not the issue. The issue is that you didn't recognize me as a human being worthy of respect. Rick's knees buckled under the weight of the truth. She looked directly at him, eyes unwavering. Authority is not a weapon. It is a responsibility. And you used it to humiliate, intimidate, and detain a completely innocent citizen. Rick whispered, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I truly am. Maya didn't flinch. Apologies do not erase consequences. Especially when your actions could have cost someone their life. She lifted the suspension order. Officer Rick Dalton, effective immediately, you are suspended pending a full internal affairs investigation. Your badge and weapon will be surrendered before you leave this building. Rick felt the room close in on him, shame burning through every inch. Maya added, quietly but firmly. Let this be a reminder, justice sees what arrogance ignores. The gavel struck. The room erupted. Outside the courtroom, the air buzzed with whispers and camera flashes. Officer Rick Dalton left surrounded by reporters, his uniform a weight of shame he could no longer carry. The viral footage replayed in everyone's minds, a stark reminder of accountability finally catching up to arrogance. Judge Maya Jefferson walked calmly to her car, robes flowing, head held high. Bystanders who recorded her arrest approached, thanking her for showing courage and composure in the face of public humiliation. She smiled softly, acknowledging their gratitude but remaining focused. Justice, she knew, was not about applause, but about fairness and integrity. Back at the courthouse, the staff whispered stories of the day the power dynamic flipped completely. The officer who humiliated was humbled. The victim who was poised and calm became the embodiment of authority. Maya's final thought as she stepped into the courtroom later that week. When truth walks quietly, it still shakes the world. Justice had been served, and it was unforgettable.